So, what if I told you that this pound of rust is secretly worth over $300? I know what you're thinking. Most people would just throw this away. It looks like worthless junk, something you'd sweep into a bin and forget about. And you're not entirely wrong. If you took this to a local scrapyard, they might give you 14 cents for it on a good day. But they'd be missing the point. A huge one, because we're going to explore the incredible, almost magical process that could multiply the value of this simple iron by over 2,000 times. This isn't about finding something valuable, it's about creating it. The secret isn't hidden in the metal, it's pure old-fashioned craftsmanship. Section 1. Find the problem. So, what are we really looking at here? It's a chunk of ferric oxide, rust. It's what happens when iron starts returning to the earth. It's the very definition of decay. To most of the world, its story is over. In this state, its value is just its weight, nothing more. The price for scrap iron fluctuates, but it's always near the bottom of the ladder. Today, you'd get about 14 cents for this pound of metal. You'd honestly spend more on gas driving it to the scrapyard than you'd get back. This is our starting point. The rawest of raw materials, a substance whose only future seems to be more decay. But that's only if you don't have the vision to see what it could become. Section 2. The call to adventure, the vision. Our plan isn't to clean this, it's to resurrect it, at least in spirit. We want to show how it can be given a new form, a new purpose, and in the process, be imbued with incredible value. To do that, we're going to follow the conceptual journey of turning this pound of iron into one of the most critical components in a machine that measures time itself. We're going to turn it into watch springs. Now, why watch springs? Because they represent the peak of adding value through skill. And to be clear, real high-end watch springs are made from incredibly specific high-tech alloys, not old rust. But the process, the transformation from a worthless material into something impossibly precise is what this is all about. A mechanical watch is a tiny miracle of engineering, and its beating heart is the balance spring, a component so delicate that making it is a true art form. The luxury watch market is where precision and tradition command huge prices. While our raw material is as humble as it gets, the finished product, a perfectly calibrated spring, is a piece of high technology. That transformation from a 14-cent piece of rust into components worth hundreds of dollars is the journey we're on. It's a testament to the idea that true worth is created, not just found. Section 3. The transformation, the ordeal, and rebirth. The first step is always purification. You can't work with rust. You have to get back to the iron hidden inside. The forge is lit. The hiss of the gas is like the first breath of this new life. The rusted iron goes into a crucible and the heat starts to climb, turning from a deep orange glow to a brilliant white-hot yellow. This intense heat burns away all the junk and lets us separate out the slag, leaving just the pure metal behind. With the iron at a searing, almost liquid temperature, it's moved to the anvil. Then the hammering begins. That rhythmic ringing sound is a conversation with the metal. Each strike shapes it, compresses its structure, and knocks the flaky rust off its surface. This isn't about brute force. It's a careful, deliberate dance. We're forging a solid billet, a clean slate of iron, ready for what comes next. Now we have to turn this iron into steel. Iron by itself is way too soft to be a spring. It needs carbon to give it strength and resilience. This happens through controlled carbonization. The iron billet is packed in a sealed container with a carbon-rich material. In the old days, they used charcoal or even bone. It's then put back in the forge to soak for hours at a very specific temperature. Slowly, carbon atoms work their way into the iron structure, creating a new alloy, high-carbon steel. This is the moment the metal gets its potential for greatness. Once it cools, the steel is hard, but it's not yet a spring. The next stage of its ordeal is to become a wire. This is a long, tough process. The steel is heated and hammered, stretched into a long, thin rod. Then it has to be drawn, pulled by force through a series of plates, each with a hole a little smaller than the last. With each pass, the wire gets longer, thinner, and stronger. We have to do this over and over, heating the wire in between to keep it from getting too brittle and snapping. What started as a chunky billet is painstakingly transformed into a wire that's barely thicker than a human hair. The final stage is where the real magic happens. We have this hair-thin steel wire, but it still has no spring in it. That property is unlocked with heat. The wire is heated to a critical temperature, a specific shade of red that only an experienced eye can judge, and then instantly plunged into oil. This sudden cooling locks the steel's molecules into a super hard, brittle state. It's too brittle to be useful, so one last delicate step is needed. The hardened wire is carefully heated again, but to a much lower temperature. As it heats up, the surface oxidizes, and the colors shift like a sunset on metal, from straw to brown, purple, and finally, a brilliant blue. That blue is what we're looking for. It means the perfect balance of hardness and flexibility has been reached. The wire is now, finally, spring steel. With the material perfected, the last step is to coil it. Using a special tool, the tiny wire is wound into a tight, perfect spiral. Each one has to be identical. From that single pound of iron, we get dozens and dozens of these intricate spirals. They are delicate, yet powerful enough to be the heart of a timepiece. Section 4, the climax, the big reveal, and here we have it, the end of the journey. On one side, what we started with, a lumpy, corroded pound of rust, worthless, an object of decay, and on the other, the result of all that labor. A small, gleaming collection of perfectly formed watch springs. Each one is a tiny spiral of iridescent blue steel, no bigger than your pinky nail. They catch the light, seeming almost weightless. They are objects of precision, of potential, of life. The contrast is incredible, isn't it? From a symbol of neglect to a showcase of meticulous creation, this is the visual proof of the transformation. It is the story of value being forged, not found. Section 5. The masterpiece. So let's talk numbers. How did we get from 14 cents to $326? The answer is in the economics of craftsmanship. Our starting pound of scrap iron had a commodity value of just 14 cents. Now, this is where our thought experiment pays off. In the specialized world of watchmaking, high-precision components aren't sold by the pound. They're sold as individual units, each with a value that reflects the incredible skill needed to make them. A single, professionally made balance spring, created from specialized alloys to meet exacting standards, can be worth several dollars to a watchmaker. If you multiply that by the hundreds of springs that can theoretically be made from a pound of steel, the total value easily climbs into the hundreds of dollars. The $326 figure isn't an exaggeration of the value of craftsmanship. It's a conservative estimate of the market price for these professionally made components. This huge jump in value comes from the skill and knowledge involved. This is not a process you can easily automate. It's the product of centuries of accumulated craft. And of course, there's the market demand. The luxury goods industry is built on this very idea, where the story of how something is made is just as important as the material itself. What started as a pound of rust has been reborn, showing that potential is everywhere, just waiting to be unlocked. The most common, discarded things can become objects of incredible worth and beauty if we just apply skill, patience, and a little bit of vision. The value was never in the iron itself. It was in the knowledge of how to transform it, and that is a resource that never rusts. If you found this transformation as satisfying as I did, think about subscribing for more journeys from rust to riches.